Do you want to grow as a grower? Are you tired of being put to sleep by your educational growcasts? Are you tired of hearing about products you don't fucking want and can't afford? Are you tired of being told how you should grow? Hi, I'm Johnny Apple, and joining me is everyone's favorite amphibian, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Join us as we sift through the bullshit on the internet and try to get better as growers. This is your average grow.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and how'd you get that nickname?
So my name is Johnny Apple, and I got that nickname. I was in an argument with a Reverend Pirate Frog, and he decided that the lime Skittle was better than the green apple Skittle. It was straight argument. My name before that, and it had no significance or meaning whatsoever, was just Johnny Weed Killer, because my name has J, W, and K in it, and I wanted it to be something along those lines. So it was Johnny Weed Killer, because I was always killing my plants and stuff as I was growing. So it just kind of fluidly happened. We were busting each other's balls about the green apple Skittles, and I said I should change my name to Johnny Apple, and that's kind of how it all progressed.
That's very true. I will say that I didn't decide that lime was the superior flavor. The Lord Frog himself did.
See, this is where we disagree. Green apple is like such a great flavor, and here's the thing: is they gave it to us, and then they didn't. They like took it away. They didn't like offer any solution to those of us who fell in love with the green apple. Like, there's nothing. It is nowhere. I've searched far and wide for fucking green apple Skittle, and I'll tell you, Mars, they really screwed up here.
I will say that, that they started with lime and took it from us, so you're not going to get sympathy from the lime crowd. Also,
yeah, but they had lime Skittles. It was in another package, I think.
Fair enough.
Maybe not.
I did. Anywho, good. So tell me more about yourself.
So the real reason we're here is we've met and we've got some chemistry, and we think we can offer the community some entertainment as we progress ourselves in getting better.
And that's why we're opening our OnlyFans.
I wouldn't say opening so much as monetizing.
Finally.
Yes.
Years and years of content can now be yours.
Yes. So I've got a ton going on, and it just seemed like a whole lot to write down for me. And you and I were talking, and we really hit it off inside of Cultivation Conversations Discord, and wanted to continue having a regular conversation with each other about what we got going on in our gardens. So currently, what I got going on is a multitude of things. Let's just say I've got my dad's house, which I help him manage his grow. He's got a 4x4 over there and a 2x4 over there. And then at my house, I've got a 4x4 currently in flower with 4 headstrong plants from 70s Genetic. Those are in 15-gallon no-till pots. This is the second run no-till, but it was an amended reused soil. So kind of a third run, but it's the second time no-till in this current 4x4. I got another 4x4. I've transitioned to a large pot. I've got a 3x3 raised bed in there. It's got about 90 gallons. I overfilled it a little bit. It's got about 90 gallons of soil in it, and it currently has 2 Tangy Tibuguana F1s in it. They're about, what's the date today? The 15th. So they're just turning on the lights today at 5 for day 15. So they're 2 weeks old. I have a clone tent, which currently has nothing in it, but I'm using that for cloning projects and taking cuts or whatever I have to transition into that tent, just having a tent available for that. I have a 2x4 with 2 Tangy Tibuguana F2s and an Appleseed Top Gun, which I'm currently running in a solo cup. The two Tangy Tibuana F2s, one of them's ran in a earth box, and the other one was run in a 2-gallon Grove bag. Not a Grove bag. It's a 2-gallon, but who's it from? Jesus
Isn't it an
Christ.
honor bag?
That's an honor bag. Yeah.
I shouldn't know more about the pots in your house, dude, than you do.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, I'm very, very, very bad as this podcast progresses. I'm sure everyone's going to pick up on. I'm very bad with nouns. My eyes remember everything except for names.
Wait, did you say you're really bad at nouns?
Yeah, nouns. The
Oh, okay.
name of things.
Okay, I got confused for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I can remember shit, but never the name of it. Like what's it called? I'm really terrible with that. So just audience, if there's an audience, bear with me because I'm kind of a
You're noun
pretard.
blind.
Yeah, I'm noun blind.
Noun blind. It's a horrible,
And then
horrible existence.
so to carry on with the garden, the other tent I have is I do have a mom seedling tent going on. It's a 2x4, but it's a half a 2x4, so it's 2x4x4. That currently will hold moms. I've got 4 moms in there now from the Headstrong plants, and then I am getting ready to pop skunk #1 seeds from AG Seed Co. Company. Yep,
Exciting.
those are getting ran over at my father's house. They're 10 regular seeds. I got 10 1-gallon transplantinator from Grassroots. So I got 10 of those getting ready for transplant. I'm probably going to end up soaking the seeds tonight. I don't know what happened. I only got 1 bag of my Build a Soil Light in the mail today. I ordered 2. So my goal is, because I've noticed a tremendous difference between my F2 grown in cocoa and my F2 grown in the earth box. There seems to be some slight stunting on the one in the earth box. Now, asking around the community, there seems to be a consensus that generally speaking, you're going to get a better start in cocoa. So that struck a bell with me. It's like, okay, I can clearly see a results. That one in cocoa is enormous comparatively to everything that I've started in soil. It's huge.
Yeah.
So but I don't want to start in cocoa every time. But maybe if I started in solo cups in cocoa, just so they've got that initial root growth, the ease of the root growth to get them going, and then immediately transplant into a cocoa enriching Build a Soil Light. That's kind of what I'm trying to go with for these skunk #1s, thinking that if they're in cocoa, they're going to get a better rooted start in the solo cups, get them going, 14 days or so, then transplant into. Now what I did was took a 3-gallon pot of cocoa, just straight cocoa and perlite, mixed it into a bag of Build a Soil Light.
Okay.
So that adds quite a bit more porosity to the peat, because the peat can be suffocating a little bit, especially like pressed up against those big pumice stones.
Yeah.
So my theory is that by adding a little bit of cocoa, see, they're still young, they're not going to need too awful much, and the Build a Soil Light is still a pretty rich soil. So I feel like a little bit of cocoa added to that will get me to be able to sex those in 1-gallon pots. And I'll leave enough room that if I got to top dress with some worm castings, I'll top dress with some worm castings.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like an awesome plan and exciting as all hell.
So, and then I'm debating on whether I want to fuck around and put a male in maybe that clone tent for a little while, like the last male to go. Put him in and maybe save his pollen or something like that for down the road or something.
I mean, hell yeah. I always vote Team Chaos, dude.
Yeah, because that's kind of the way I am. You'll find that I just kind of go balls deep into everything. And we'll figure it out later. And so my goal is to try the shit that I want to try. Like, I don't really have a goal. I just, when something I find interesting, I want to try, I want to go after it.
That's the way you got to do it.
Yeah. So like, I think you had mentioned making EM1 I'm really curious into making my EM1. So that's maybe an episode we get into doing some EM1 and I give it a go. Some other things I want to try is I definitely want to consider the idea of maybe sticking with the 15-gallon no-tills in the 4x4 once I get it up into my space. So I've combined all of my stuff into one space, and I call it Johnny Apple Growers Lounge. So I've got a lounge up there that I can chill in and be in touch with the community and whatnot, and um, take my medicine, and then the rest of that space is committed to growing.
Yeah.
So my goal is to like just do whatever I find interesting. Like I was getting ready to try. I have a favorite strain that I've grown so far. It tastes like blueberry muffin, and it's a racy high. Matter of fact, in lieu of tonight's first episode, that's what I'm finishing up. Is the last of this G Fog, and I call her G Fog 2. It's Godfather OG, and she was my second pheno. And man, it is just she's been my favorite. Unfortunately, I didn't think she was gonna be until I had let everything go. I had given my dad the last of the plant, to put in an earth box to kind of see what we could do finishing it outside. Just something curious. It was kind of a birthday present. I bought the earth box for him and just let him go to town. Man, did she get beautiful. I got pictures of her at the end with big colas, like my hand around the entire cola, and it didn't
Wow.
fit. And she just smelled amazing. So my goal was to maybe take some cuts of her early on. I did. I took 12 cuts and I successfully rooted them, and she was in flower at the time, so technically that was monster cropping.
Yep.
So I had monster crop 12 cuts, and then taking them from the cloner, I was in a bit of a rush and made up my own seedling soil, and it was super hot with mustard seed oil, and I think it burnt the roots on top of a bit of overwatering, just because it was looking like, man, these are getting droopy. They've got water. Why are they getting droopy? So I was like, oh, fuck it. I guess I'll give them water until runoff. And I think just the combination of the new soil and the overwatering, it killed them off. So it was like, Jesus, man, I've lost her again.
Yeah.
So just yesterday, we harvested her, and I was going to go after a re-veg project. So I took like 10 small but decent sized buds on the bottom of that plant in an earth box and brought it home. We harvested the rest and put it in the dry tent. Now I've got an 8x8 dry tent in the basement of my dad's house, for both of us to dry at. And it is an awesome setup. Being in a basement, it pretty much maintains its own environment for the most part. We've got a dehumidifier in there, and that's pretty much it. And some
Wow.
fans to move the air around. I've got it
That's pretty cool.
open on the one side with just a carbon filter just to let air in and out.
Mm.
Now, so we hung in there, and I brought the earth box home. And when I got it home, I just kind of threw it in the garage and was waiting. And then I got the cloner cleaned out of that cloning tent and put her in there. And as I was putting her in there and getting the lights turned on, I had noticed she had some powdery mildew. So it would seem that every way I turn with this plant, it was meant for her to go. Wasn't meant to be. So I've accepted that, and in lieu of that, we're puffing on the last of her tonight.
She survived. She couldn't survive her final Johnnying.
Yeah, and it's basically it was one more Johnnying. I've Johnnyed this plant from start to finish, and it's a great way to end.
Yeah, but it was a great smoke, and you learned a lot.
I did learn a lot. Now, she has gotten me to the point where I am so excited about blueberry. I am pretty sure my next run is going to be Violet Beauregard from Joint Custody Seeds, which is a cross of his blueberry and Supreme Leader.
It's awesome. That'll be really fun to watch too.
I can't wait for that. And that's going to be, I'm going to do the same thing depending on how these skunk number ones go to sexing. I'm going to sex the joint seeds the same way.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, before I let you go, I have two quick questions for you, and then I can let you go finally. I need to know, what is your least favorite food?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Okay, that's an excellent choice.
Yeah,
And
mushrooms.
what is a dream project you have in growing that you'd like to achieve in a year or so?
I would like to, in a year or so. I don't know if I'm going to be ready in a year or so, but my big time goal was to be getting a blueberry terp rich plant crossed with one of these skunk number ones.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, even if it doesn't happen in a year, at least in a year we'll have made some progress,
I'm
hopefully.
hoping to. Yeah, at least get this skunk number one seed out of the way because I'm going to be managing it heavy and it's going to be at my dad's house. So it's going to be a lot of work on my end getting back and forth to make sure this grow goes off without a hitch. These are some old genetics, so they're going to be a little bit finicky. So everything's going to be dialed in. So
Excellent.
that's going to require a lot of work on my part.
Well, I thank you very much for allowing me to interview you, my dear friend.
I appreciate the same, and I can't wait to interview you to let the people know what you got going on.
Yeah, it'll be super boring. We'll be back.
All right.